The next Star Trek series to release is just around 1 month away. Yes, of course, we're back with Star Trek Lower Decks Season 3. After the cliffhanger ending of Season 2, you can expect we've got a lot of mystery with the upcoming season. However, thanks to a brand new teaser trailer straight from San Diego Comic-Con, we've got all the latest details for you. Let's break it down. Welcome to Trek Central, I'm your host Captain Jack. Let's dive straight into it, but before we do, a massive thank you for those supporting our San Diego Comic-Con 2022 coverage. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, we're very close to 100k total YouTube subscribers here on the channel. You can also follow us on social media, I look forward to sharing the conversation there with you all. Okay, engage. Or should I say, warp me. Now we're going to try and break down this trailer as coherently as possible, but this is Lower Decks and we're used to its incoherent wildness, so be warned, this may get a bit weird and a bit confusing. If you want to watch the full trailer, head over to trekcentury.net, linked in the description below. Now Lower Decks has been very referential to the Trek of the past, but with 3 seasons under its belt, it can now work with what is built up itself. And nothing shows that better than the fact we're back at Torgana 4 again. Torgana 4 was a planetary outpost that split into multiple sectors: Klingon, Andorian, Ryzen, and Federation. It was seen in the Season 1 episode, Envoys. But this time there's some sort of event happening outside the Federation Embassy, almost like a careers fair, with such careers as Starfleet, Archaeology, and the Collectors Guild, which you saw in the Season 2 episode, Keishon, His Eyes Open. There is even one of these cutouts where you stick your head in the Devil in the Dark episode of the original series, because why not? The USS Cerritos is in space dock after the events of Season 2's finale, where its entire hull plating was removed to save the USS Archimedes. Now we have heard that the Cerritos is getting a refit in this case, but in this particular scene, it does seem more impounded. I mean, this is after the shock that Freeman may be responsible for the destruction of Pac-led Planet. I have to say it's really cool that we get the Federation News Network news stream, which was first seen in Star Trek Picard, with the interview that Picard does in the first episode of Season 1. And a nice bit of connective tissue. Freeman's put into some sort of stasis cell, maybe akin to Han Solo being frozen in carbonite, and looks like from later scenes she may have been sent to some mental asylum. How this might link to her arrest is interesting. Perhaps whoever is advocating her says she is insane in order to help buy her time with the Cerritos crew to investigate what is really going on this whole time. In this later scene, we see Freeman almost suffering through a pet therapy session, which is a sight, I mean, it's weird, alright? Now, new Star Trek hasn't exactly been too full of connections to Deep Space Nine compared to other shows, but it seems like Lower Decks Season 3 is finally changing that, as we get numerous Deep Space Nine references in this trailer. Oh, we also got one in Season 2 as well. First up, we have Sisko's Creole Kitchen, the restaurant that Benjamin Sisko's father runs in New Orleans. Rutherford is seen throughout the trailer wearing an outfit we can only assume he stole from Jake Sisko's wardrobe. And another little DS9 reference is that the hot sauce at Sisko's restaurant has a rating of Ketracel White Hot, which I definitely do not want to try. The script says I do want to try it, but that's a lie. Lower Decks has so much wild merchandise opportunities, like last season with Tom Paris plate, and we should really embrace that. Part of me wants we might be getting a hot sauce. No, wait, we actually need plushies of Beluga whales as the crew members. Seriously, I'd buy them for the shelves behind me. I need to get a badgy one. Anyway, General Martok has returned. Our crew might be on a mission for Martok, as we see Marin extremely Indiana Jonesing as she steals a small golden Klingon statuette from an ancient temple. So begins the greatest adventure of your lives, we hear Martok say in that clip.
So begins the greatest adventure
Wait,
of your life.
it doesn't look like a chancellor here. Well, it may seem like in true Lower Decks fashion, they have taken something from the real world and put it into Star Trek, which is the interactive Klingon DVD games that Star Trek used to do. Maybe Quark made some during the Dominion War, with General Martok begrudgingly agreeing to this. I can't see that, but yes, it does appear to be a board game, as we see our Lower Deckers cosplaying as Klingons with some nachos and playing board. So that scene of Marinette stealing a gold Klingon statue was probably just something she was imagining. Maybe I'll do D&D inside Star Trek. Interestingly enough, this wouldn't be the first time J.D. Hertzler, actor and voice actor for Martok, voiced a character in Lower Decks, as he played the Durakian captain in Terminal Proclamations, which included this fantastic clip.
You said this trash wasn't worth fighting for.
We're not fighting!
Avoiding damage is fighting!
We can talk this out!
You!
These guys are lucky I'm so ethical and considerate! I have done everything I can to respect their sanctity of life, to avoid conflict, and give them the benefit of the doubt. The Drukmani have given me no choice. Shax, target their warp core.
And obviously, the biggest DS9 reference in this trailer is that Cerritos actually ends up heading to Deep Space Nine itself. Obviously, we went to DS9 in Season 1, but that was only for a flashback, so it's good to see it in the present day, and it's still standing. While the epic DS9 music plays, we get some beautiful shots of the Cerritos buying time by simply circling the station. We even get to see the wormhole open up. Apparently, they're also admiring the pylons of the station as well, and as Chief O'Brien would say, they do look pretty good. There does seem to be another Orion Starfleet officer behind Tendi in this scene, with the corridor looking almost DS9-like. We do know that DS9 will be shown in the interior, and perhaps this new Orion Starfleet officer who is joining because of Tendi. He merely has the older uniform because he's probably stationed at Deep Space Nine, where they're still using the older uniform, much like Riker on board the Titan. From an interview with the cast after the panel, Noah Wells, voice actor for Ensign Tendi, says that their favourite episode was episode 6 of the season, which in the episode in which DS9 appears, but is a Tendi-centric episode, so that does make sense. Truly, it is amazing to see the station again, and maybe we'll get to see Quark or Kira on the station, who knows, but one can hope it isn't DS9 about Quark. I'm almost hoping we might learn more about who is commanding the station now, and how Bajor works as a Federation currently. That'll be interesting to learn. Now I've got to talk about one of my favourite moments of this trailer. Not only do we have the DS9 references this season, but we also have the return of the plucky shuttle, the Delta Flyer from Star Trek Voyager. Rutherford is even wearing the pilot uniform they wore in that one Voyager episode, but it looks like Rutherford is participating in a Delta Flyer race. Whether it is the Delta Flyer, or just another which was duplicated after Voyager returned home is actually unknown. Maybe it's a part of a D&D board game session though, and that could be the case, or it's a hologram. Later in the trailer, we do see the Delta Flyer being attacked by a Romulan Dejadex class. The boys of the race seem to be still in the background, so perhaps the Romulans just hate fun and don't want to see the race continue. Either that or it's a weird version of Mario Kart. Who knows, but it's great to see the Delta Flyer come up against a Romulan warship. Something which really didn't happen or do in Voyager because of them being stuck in the Delta Quadrant. DS9, Voyager, what else? Well, since we first saw the poster for this season, it became apparent this season is the Search for Spock season. And with that being the case, we obviously have a heist on our hands. And we get to see the crew stealing the Cerritos still without its plating from dry dock. Whether this will just be our lower deckers stealing the ship, or the other senior officers as well, who knows. Though the Federation News Network footage does show the senior officers at Freeman's trial, we might have our lower deckers stealing the ship alone. And in possibly the most horrifying part of this trailer, some weird green magical orbs get broken, which manifest people's nightmares. And the nightmares of our crew is clown Klingons with bat'leths for arms. I didn't expect that, I'm going to be really honest. The other nightmares seem to be dried grapes with tentacles, which is probably Boimler's nightmare, considering we know he grew up on a raisin vineyard and hates it. I mean, who would like it, to be fair? I'd hate it. We see more of these nightmare creatures later in the trailer, with the clown, Klingon bat'leth arms, playing the trombone, because of course. And is that the only thing you're questioning? Well, this is Lower Decks, so bear with. We all see an Andorian werewolf and a Borg snake. Honestly, you couldn't make this up even if you began to. An interesting scene is the unplated Cerritos coming up upon a swarm of spacefaring aliens, which is pretty cool, considering this is when the Cerritos is unplated. It'll be early in the season when we're on the hunt for justice for Freeman. Hunt for Freeman, what a game that was. And talking of interesting aliens, we do get a lot of in this trailer, but the main one we have to point out is the 4-winged turtle doves. Yes, they're literally turtle doves, because of course they are. Okay, let's talk about Cool Ranch. This alien chasing after Bormina was revealed before the panel by Entertainment Weekly, and it's called K-Ranch, Cool Ranch, Crew Ranch, with the character being a cosmopoid who loves weapons. This very much reminds me of a trope of a character that is a warrior that steals weapons from his enemy, with Gilgamesh in the Final Fantasy to General Grievous in Star Wars. Now with the character being called K-Ranch, I bet it was to be pronounced Cool Ranch or Cool Ranch, because only the perverted mind of Mike McCann and his writer's room could come up with such a thing. So yes, we have Cool Ranch. Now those are the big elements of the Season 3 trailer, but let's touch some details, or particularly small details of the trailer, because it wouldn't be Lower Decks without some deep Easter eggs. A new Starfleet tool is the Starfleet branded chainsaw, which Dr. Nana is seen wielding as she goes to chop someone's foot off. Well, that took a dark turn. You know, the more I see of Dr. Nana, the more I just think of Dr. Pulaski. And I like that character, so that says a lot. A great scene is Mariner skydiving off a very tall building, which is obviously a reference to Star Trek 2009, where they skydive onto Monada's drill above Vulcan. One of the weird and wonderful moments of the 2009 Star Trek film if you ask me. Boimler is getting sucked into something and Tendi and Mariner save him. This could be involved, which is interesting as it looks like Mariner is holding Tendi using rope made from their Starfleet uniforms and they're in their underwear. Lower Decks loves people getting their uniforms off, it's a bit weird, yeah. Anyway, moving on. Captain Freeman is seen in one of those masks from the TNG episode, Masks. I'm sure it's probably a cold open for an episode and I can't wait to see where it goes. Alright, in at 117, we've not got the Master Chief, but we do have the return of Peanut Hamper, in some form of a hobbled together warp-capable ship. Perhaps some debris after the destruction of multiple Pack-led ships during the season finale of Season 1 of Lower Decks. I wonder if she will tie into a full episode or just a hint at it. Will she be coming back for revenge even though she exiled herself? Or might there be more to Peanut Hamper motives? Perhaps she is the one who destroyed Pack-led Planet and framed Freeman. That's a wild theory right there, but this is Star Trek Lower Decks after all, so never say never. Boimler does drugs. Yep, that's all. His face looks like a sea urchin. If that's what you look like when you take drugs, you tell me. Maybe don't include that part. But actually, one of the coolest returns in this episode is Kulkakan. Kulkakan. This is from the animated series, the Mesoamerican winged serpent deity. Kulkan was actually the last of an ancient serpent species who visited Earth's distant past and influenced many early civilizations. So I wonder if this being is also called Kulkan specifically, or they managed to find a way to make sure they were not the last of their species. A credit to Dom for writing the most complicated part of this script segment, thanks. Now we do finally get it in last season, but this is not the end, as we have a return of Cetacean Ops. The horny beluga whales are back and they are disgusted that Boimler jumps into their pool with his shoes on. Classic. He's still wearing the uniform though, so... And that just wraps up all of the cool things in this trailer and what this could mean for the story of Season 3 going forward. But did we miss anything? And what was your favourite part of the Lower Decks trailer? Also, what are you most excited for in Season 3? Let us know in the comment section, because as always, if you're talking about Star Trek, then we'd love to see it. Alright, that was the Star Trek Lower Decks trailer for 2022. The upcoming third season is releasing on August 25th, 2022, so just around about a month away. Are you excited for that? Make sure to check back here on Trek Central for all the details so far. If you want to keep up to date on all the latest Star Trek news, lore and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. You can also follow us on social media or join our community Discord server. But for now, I've been Captain Jack, thanks for watching, we'll see you next time. Live long and prosper, my friends, goodbye. Make it so, or I don't know, goodbye.